All right, so no fancy song, no fancy intro or anything like that. This is just a quick help video for solving quadratics. I know this has come up in multiple geometry classes. It'll help Algebra 1 students, Algebra 2 students too, probably. So we're going to look at a few different ways to solve quadratics. Okay, uh, there's three ways really that we're going to look at today. We're going to look at how to factor, which is essentially FOIL in reverse. We're going to look at the quadratic formula, which some of you know a song for that's embarrassing. That you should sing in the hallways more often. And then we're going to look at how to graph it in your graphing calculator. Okay, so three different ways to solve the same problem. So we're going to work with x squared minus 4x minus 21. No matter how we choose to solve a quadratic, we always need it to be in the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Setting it equal to 0 is a big deal. So no matter which of the methods we choose, we cannot work the problem if it's not set equal to 0. Okay? Factoring is the fastest way, really. If it's a quadratic that will factor, which a lot of the times your teachers are really nice people, and they give you quadratics that will factor. So factoring is the easiest way, or the fastest way. You do need to be good at things like multiplying numbers, dividing, addition, and subtraction. And if you're good at those, you can factor. You have to have the ability to guess and check a little bit, because we are going to literally go straight from the problem to the answer. Like we said up front, it's FOIL in reverse. So FOIL was first, outer, inner, last. And that's basically what we're going to do here. To get the first term, it was the first times the first. So that's x times x. To get the middle term, we add these two numbers, and to get the last term, we multiply these two numbers. So I'm looking for a number that multiplies, or two numbers, that multiplies to 21, negative 21, excuse me, and adds to negative 4. Okay? The easiest way to do that is to just list factors of negative 21. The more of these you do, the better of this you get, and you can start to do this kind of stuff in your head. Those are all the factors of negative 21, and the only one that combines to make negative 4 is that one, 3 and negative 7. So I'm going to go back into my problem, and I'm going to write x minus 3, minus 7, and x plus 3. You can check that using FOIL, first, outer, inner, last, and we get that. Now, you have to understand, when the directions are to solve, we want x equals something. If you look at this problem, we're saying that this times this equals 0. If I tell you that I'm thinking of two numbers and their product is 0, what is one of the numbers? Well, it has to be 0, okay? So to get 0, one of these has to be 0. So we're going to solve for both. X equals, in this case, for this x minus 7 to equal 0, x would have to be 7. Or, that's a weird 7, is it not? Is it not? I did it again. I literally, in my head just now, started singing Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. Right here, to get x plus 3 equal to 0, x has to be negative 3. And that's it. A lot of times in geometry questions, if x is symbolizing a length or a distance, we would know that 7 is the answer, but just generally speaking, solving quadratics, you have two answers. Okay? So that's how to factor. Let's look at the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is this. Is that right there? So what we have to do is we need this, our problem to be in this form, and then we're just going to plug things in, one at a time. So x equals, that's what we're solving for, x equals negative b. Well, b is negative 4, so that's a positive 4. This is plus or minus, which means when we get down to the end of the problem, we're going to both add and subtract these two terms. B squared, so that's negative 4 squared, which is 16, minus 4 times a times c. So a is the number next to the x here, so that's 1. So 4 times 1 times c. So 4 times negative 21 is negative 84. And that is all over 2a, and again a is 1, so all over 2. So there's the setup. now I got to slowly work the problem. Pay no attention to the small child squealing in the background. I am alone by myself. That was just a sound. It was a figment of your imagination. So then, next step, x equals 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus negative 84 is 100. And again, still all over 2. Good math habits to have, just to work your way down in a problem, doing a little bit at a time. This becomes 4 plus or minus 10 over 2. And then here's where I'm going to split the problem into two parts. I'm going to do x equals 4 plus 10 over 2 and x equals 4 minus 10 over 2. Okay? From there, that's just basic math time. 4 plus 10 is 14 over 2 is 7. So x equals 7. And 4 minus 10 is negative 6. And negative 6 over 2 is negative 3. And there's our answer. Same answer as the way we did it before. Okay, same answer. Just, quadratic formula instead. Okay? The last way we're going to look at is we're going to look at how to do it in your graphing calculator. Now, it's not bad to know how to use your calculator. It's bad if it's the only thing you know. If you're going to be in AFDA, or you are in AFDA watching this, or Algebra 2, you need to know how to factor. You need to understand the quadratic formula. But understanding your calculator sometimes can save you some time. So we're going to look at how to do this in a Casio and in a TI. We'll try to look at them both simultaneously. You'll notice that one is larger than the other, and in my opinion, that is because one is better than the other, but whatever. There, now you can see the whole thing. And we're working with this same problem here. So x squared minus 4x minus 21, still the same problem that we were working with earlier. All right, let's bring our calculators back up. So same thing as last time. You have to get it equal to 0. Okay, so that's step 1. Then in both calculators, you're going to go into the graph function. In the Casio, you're going to hit menu, and you're going to scroll to wherever you see your graph function and hit enter or execute. And then I'm going to put the problem in exactly as it looks. So x squared minus 4x minus 21. And I'm going to hit execute to store it. You'll notice once I store it, that becomes like highlighted. Then I can hit F6 to draw, and I get that. Hold that thought for a second. Let's go over here to our TI. Here I go into y equals, and I do basically the same thing. I'm going to put in x squared minus 4x minus 21, and I'm going to hit enter. Alright, so now I've stored that, and then I'm going to hit graph. You'll notice that in both of the graphs, the TI, this one, the view window was nice and clean for us. If you can't see, what we're looking for when we graph a quadratic is we're looking for the roots. We're looking for the zeros, the solutions, the x-intercepts. That's what we want. So if your window doesn't show that, you can just simply adjust your window. If I wanted this to be negative 20, whoopsie daisy. If I wanted that to be negative 20, which, okay, there's my graph, view window. I can change these to be whatever I want. So if we wanted this to be 20 and then this to be positive 20, so you can play with the view window and then hit graph, and now I can see more of it. You can play with the view window all you want. A lot of times the standard view window is enough, or you might have to enlarge it a little bit. In the Casio, I can zoom in both of them. I can hit zoom and just hit zoom 6, which is standard, which makes it a 10 by 10. The Casio does an auto zoom, so you can do that. To get the 10 by 10 in the Casio, you just hit view window and you hit standard, and that makes it a 10 by 10. And you hit execute a couple times and you draw. Now it's a little bit more complicated to get the solutions in the TI, so we'll do that one first. Above the trace button, it says calc. So I'm going to hit second and trace. I want to calculate the zeros, so I'm going to hit the number 2. Now the first zero that it gives me is when x is 0, it gives me the y-intercept. But it asks me this question right here, left boundary. Okay, so I'm going to go up, I'm hitting the directional pad left. And I want to hit it till it goes all the way up above the x-axis right there, and I'm going to hit enter. Then it asks me the right boundary, and I'm going to go down a little bit so that it's below. So I have left and right, and I'm going to hit enter. And then it says guess. And so yes, I want it to guess, and it guesses correctly that I'm looking for that 0 of negative 3. Okay, and then I do the same exact thing for the other side. So I'm going to hit second trace again, number 2, and then I got to do left boundary and right boundary again, and I'm just going to hit the right D-pad, the directional arrow, over and over and over until I can see it on that right side, right before the x-axis. There it is. So I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to hit right a couple times till it goes above it, and hit enter, and it asks me guess, and I say yes please guess, and it gives me 7. So -3 and 7. Casio, much faster. Hit F5, hit F1 for root. There's -3. I hit overwrite one time. There's +7. Couldn't be easier in the calculators, but I will tell you, knowing how to factor, knowing how to use the quadratic formula is much more useful in the big picture. All right, let's take a look at. Here are 4 example problems for you to practice. I would pause the video right now so you can practice them, get some answers, and then unpause the video because I will tell you what those answers are so we can see if you got them correct. So go ahead and pause the video now. All right, you've unpaused. Time for the big reveal, okay? The big reveal. The answer to this one is x equals 5 and 3. To this one, x equals -5 and -6. To this one, -11 and 3, and over here, x equals 9 and 2. Hopefully this was helpful. If you need more help, feel free to tweet me, write in the comments below, email me, talk to your teacher, look on the internet, or just summon spirits till they teach you how to factor. Good luck. Have fun. See ya.